the shit hot. Oh, I'ma light the shit up. Yeah, I'ma make the shit hot. Oh, I'ma light the shit up.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys or girls, and welcome to your apparently new favourite What If Naruto could absorb life energy? And yes, I say that because I've got a lot of comments and a lot of messages on Discord. And yes guys, I know on the server it says don't DM me, but when I mean don't DM me, I mean don't DM me for stuff about the server. You're fine to message me privately, but when I mean don't DM me, I don't mean DM me because someone's spamming in the server, which ain't a problem anyway. The server's dead. Speaking of which, go join the server. And like 800 people watched that video and no one joined the new server. Like, you're dry. Like, I bet at least someone in your family is going to be disappointed that you didn't join my server. I was careful what I'm saying, because if I say someone of your family is dead, then you're going to get offended. And I need to stop talking. It's a big problem. I run my mouth and I don't think about what I say, and then I say it and then people get offended. Oh, I don't give a fuck. Anyway, yes, part 2 of what Naruto could absorb nature energy. Last time we left off, check out the thumbnail, I always forget to say it. Check him out. He just hit 200 subs. Let's get him to 200. No, let's get him to 300. And yeah, other than that, finally, like, subscribe, comment down below what else you want to see, and let's get into it. Last time we left off, Naruto fought against Kakashi and actually matched his Chidorian power using life energy, and also figured out finally that he doesn't just absorb life energy now. If he really wants to, he can also absorb, you guessed it, chakra. But he doesn't have such good control over this yet. Anyway, after the third Hokage found out that Naruto was easily able to compete with Kakashi, he contemplated promoting him to a Chunin. To a Jonin, but he decided to wait for the Chunin exams. In Naruto says the Jonin exams. While this happens, Naruto, how do I put this? Not Naruto, the third Hokage looked over the team sheet, and instead of giving him a D rank mission, he decides there's one of the most powerful Jonins in the village, and a decently powerful Chunin, and the Sasuke Uchiha prodigy. It doesn't really matter, there's Sakura on that team who hasn't really shown her colours yet. That team should be able to handle C rank, and as such, after giving a week off, of course Naruto goes out hunting. He doesn't absorb as many animals this time, unless they're new, as he doesn't want to absorb them for the point of it. He can live for basically 10,000 years now. He doesn't need to hunt them for that. He only absorbs ones that he don't know to gain their abilities. Speaking of which, Naruto has a lot of animals' abilities, like a bat's echolocation, eagle's eagle eye vision. That's one way I can put it. And he actually started absorbing like fishes and all that, and so Naruto can swim like a fish. And unknown to him, he can breathe underwater. Anyway, after finding out that they're getting a C rank mission, Naruto's eyes light up. He thought he'd have to argue for a C rank, or at least Naruto a B rank, but he'll take what he can get. And as such, the bridge builder finally arrives. He looks at Naruto and attempts to make fun of him, but all the beasts that Naruto's collected, like, absorb their life force. He gains their ability to use their bloodlust, and they add up over time, man, I'm telling you. Naruto lets a bit of it pour out, and the bridge builder Tazuna nearly throws up. That's how scared he got. He manages to keep his stomach down and decides he's going to stop drinking for that day at least. And they begin walking towards to the land of the hidden waves. I think that's what it's called anyway. And as they're walking, Naruto's senses are going overdrive. He senses danger, but he can't see it at all. Until finally he walks past a puddle. Remember, he has Minato's smarts, Minato's common sense. He looks at it and says, a puddle, a sunny day. If I'm ain't rained in like 3 days. Ooh, that rhyme! After realising what this actually is, Naruto stops and stares at the puddle. His hair shoots up on ends, his claw comes out, his fangs pop out, and he starts growling. Sakurashina's saying, so that's why they call him a demon brat. Naruto starts puffing out his chest. This is just his animal instincts that he's got from absorbing wolves, bears and all that. The bigger you are, the more scared they'll be. And once Kakashi sees his claws, he's confused. That isn't Nine-Tails chakra. Interesting. As Naruto is directing a large amount of bloodlust at the two demon brothers, they jump out the puddle, panicked. What is that brat? They chuck their chains at Naruto, but Naruto jumps over them, and the other one targets Kakashi. Kakashi does his same disappearing act, but Naruto can still sense him using his heightened senses. And then they switch it to Sasuke. Naruto easily dodging in between the blades, jumping over them. He's like how impossible a bunny is to catch. How you're never really gonna catch an eagle flying through the sky, are you? He's so graceful with his dodges. And they think, so he's speed-like, then I should be able to eat one of his punches. They block, and Naruto throws a punch. They at first think, as I thought, until the armor on the arms starts to crack and absolutely gets shattered. Naruto punches the arms and breaking them, sending them flying him back. Before the demon brother even has a chance to realise the pain he's in, Naruto's already in front of him, and he slices his side with his claws. Naruto again grabs him by the throat, picks him up and slams him. He fights like an animal, Sasuke thinks in his head. But sometimes you gotta be an animal to hunt your prey. ASMR. That's a life lesson for you as well. Sometimes you have to act like an animal to get the prey you want. But then as he has him pinned down to the ground, he says, "You chose to attack us, so don't blame me for showing no mercy." Kakashi's watching this in the tree, is very intrigued at least. Naruto puts his hands out, and Kakashi said so he's going to absorb his chakra. Interesting. Naruto begins to absorb life force, and Kakashi using a Sharingan, he's like, that's the pure energy I saw before. Interesting, so he extracts it from others. That's when Kakashi actually becomes shocked. One of the demon brothers, he's becoming weaker, but he's actually aging rapidly until he's basically a husk, an empty skeleton. Naruto looks that this is the first human he's ever absorbed, at least he knows of. Well, no, actually, don't know. But Naruto feels it, the power rush through his body. The jutsus that this man knew are now his. His techniques are now his. His fighting style, his years of training are now his. His potential to train is now Naruto's. This is the first big boost Naruto got. As yes, he's been still in animal potentials, but the animal's potential to be a ninja is not that great. But now Naruto's training speed would it be like doubled, tripled now to what it was before. It's already got a good increase. Then Sasuke fighting with the other one, breaks his arm and kicks him to Naruto. Naruto absorbs him again. Naruto, now having begun training, he would progress at say minimum 6 times faster than he normally would. Kakashi seeing this is very intrigued and asking what's the jutsu. Naruto being honest, that's his sensei, he just says, I don't know, I've always had these seals and they just let me do it. Kakashi says, Minato sensei to himself, he's like, you got an interesting student. And you're an interesting son. As Naruto's walking, his sense is going to overdrive again and he screams at everyone to duck. And Naruto, like I said, he has animal senses. Animals knows not want to pick a pointless fight. And he ducks down. Massive head comes flying over top, which would have cut Naruto's head off. And when he looks up, a weird masked man lands on the blade. Kakashi goes, Zabuza, one of the legendary ninja swordsmen. So, what are you doing here? Zabuza laughs and says, I've been hired to kill that old man you're with. But I can never give up the possibility to fight Kakashi the copy ninja. And the guy, wait, you're messaging me. I do not want to talk to you. If it's who I think it is, I'm gonna snap. It's who I think it is. I don't want to talk to you. I'm ignoring him. He wants me to play Among Us. I'm joking. I'm not ignoring him. I am going to play after this video. It's my younger cousin. But Naruto, who was for a second afraid, now smirks. This is going to be a fun fight. He then pours out his bloodlust on Zabuza, and even him begins trembling. He goes, what type of kid is that to be able to put out a bloodlust like this? What type of shit has he been through? Zabuza says, bruh, you're decently powerful. Why don't you just come with me? Naruto laughs and says, don't make me laugh, but how would I want to go with a boring old man like you when I got Kakashi as my sensei? He's the copy ninja of the Sharingan. What you got to me? A big sword? No thank you. Hearing this ticks up Zabuza off, as yes, he's probably not as the best teacher as Kakashi, but he ain't going to be talked down on by a little brat who he believes is a genin. He goes, you're just a genin, brat. Who do you think you... And Naruto goes, actually, I'm a chunin. Get it right. Zabuza begins, instead of getting pissed, just starts laughing. And he lunges towards Naruto. Naruto dodges to Zabuza's surprise. And he sends a kick, nailing Zabuza in the stomach, sending him flying back into the tree. Zabuza coughs up a bit of blood, but it seems to be unfazed. And he goes, brat, you got quite a kick on ya. Looks like I can't go easy. Zabuza grabs his handle, but not before Kakashi's appeared in front of him, slicing with a kunai. Zabuza leans backwards and boots Kakashi in the stomach. Yes, Kakashi eats the kick and ends up grabbing onto Zabuza's thigh and spinning backwards, kicking Zabuza hard in the face. He then does a fire style, which Zabuza just cuts with his sword. Naruto says, I'm not having this, come on then. And he starts beginning working teamwork with Kakashi. Zabuza's finding it a bit difficult to keep up, having to duck down, jump upwards, and at one point Naruto even headbutts Zabuza's sword. Naruto gets bored of this, and he looks up at his timer. He roughly has about, I'd say, 10,250 years. A year drops down, and Naruto feels energy rush through his body. Instead of directly pouring that life energy into his jutsus, Naruto just sent it around his body. He can choose how he outputs it. This 1 year could last him a few minutes, or he can put all in one attack for a few seconds, or he can make this boost permanent, where it will last a year, but it would be a small boost. He decides to make it last minutes, and that 1 year he uses it to its full extent. He rushes right at Zabuza, punching his blade. Zabuza sees his blade crack, and he gets caught off guard. He jumps backwards thinking, that brat, he's not the same brat that I was fighting a few minutes ago. That's when Sasuke comes bursting out of the ground, trying to uppercut Zabuza. Zabuza says, don't try it, you brat, and swings his blade right towards Sasuke. Naruto gets there just in time to pull Sasuke back. And Zabuza says, I fell for it, you brat, I knew you wouldn't let your teammate die. Zabuza changes his stance and swings the blade at full force. Naruto, yes, he can see it's coming, but his body won't be able to do anything in time. Kakashi's rushing towards him, he's even about to activate Kamui. Naruto's thinking, fuck, what can I do? I won't be able to get the hand signs off from my elemental blade. Damn it. Naruto's heart's begun racing, he's used to be pumping. It starts pumping and he says in his head, somebody help me! Naruto didn't expect any help, but he opens his eyes as time seems to be slowing down. And he looks to his right. A man with similar hair colour to Naruto's, no, the same hair colour, is smiling at him with his bright blue eyes. He guides Naruto's hands into a stance where if Naruto was holding a sword, he would block this hit. And he looks at Naruto in the eyes. Naruto, for some reason, feels joy, but at the same time sadness override him, and a tear falls down from his eye. All of a sudden, a weird energy courses through Naruto's veins. An energy that he's always had, but he absorbed a long time ago. Naruto feels a burning sensation on the back of his hand as the sword logo begins glowing black. And at that time, a pitch black, and I mean dark black katana, like it stands out, it absorbs light basically. Like if you seen that though? World's black is black. Look it up. That's the colour it is. Appears and blocks up as a sword. This throws everyone off guard. What? He had a weapon sealed him in. Interesting. Naruto feeling this blade, it feels natural to him, like he's been using it for thousands of years. Which, this is the sword of a Reaper. Well, remember if you watched episode 1, Naruto absorbed part of the Reaper soul from the, I don't know, that forbidden sin technique, I forgot what it's called. Yeah, but this is the power he got from it. While the Reaper uses a knife, he can use whatever weapon he wants. And Naruto got a katana. And for the infinite time of the Reaper being alive, Naruto has that experience. and his stance is properly. He laughs at Zabuza and says, "You nearly got me then." He spins his blade round, pointing at Zabuza. Zabuza then knows that yet again this brat's changed. What's different about him? Now, Zabuza can't get his blade off his eye off this brat's blade. It's unique, it's special. He can feel power resonating from it. All of a sudden, Naruto disappeared right in front of Zabuza's eyes and appeared above him. Naruto swings his blade down, and Zabuza blocks it. Zabuza can't believe the force that was behind the swing. It's pushing him down into the ground, and he thinks, at least I blocked it. If not, I would have lost an arm. That's when he realizes that Naruto's blade is pressing through his own, and as such, the demon blade that Zabuza's holding, Naruto's blade starts breaking through it, cutting through it like it's butter, and finally, he cuts the blade directly in half, and then cuts off Zabuza's arm that was holding it. And he laughs, saying, "That's what you get." Haku, who's in the distance, sees this, rushes in, using Ice Star directly on Naruto's arm, freezing it. Naruto jumps back, wincing in pain, and he says, "You think this is enough?" Naruto, who just knew how to do it, he took the hand signs that he'd used a fireball with, and minimised them to being able to use it on one hand. Although the power that was here was at least 10% of what it should be. Like, it was 10% of its power that Naruto was expecting, because Naruto hasn't mastered one-handed hand signs yet. It was enough to melt the ice, mostly. And the rest Naruto just ripped off. He glared down at this masked person who interrupted his fight. And he says to Kakashi and Sasuke, this masked boy is mine. You finish off Zabuza. But Kakashi doesn't even get a chance to agree to it before Haku and Zabuza both rushing towards Naruto. Haku activated a misjutsu since Zabuza couldn't do it, and Zabuza came in with a flying kick right in Naruto's chest. Naruto flies backwards and he lets go of the sword. It disappears. Naruto feels the power return to the back of his hand and says, "So that's how it works." He flies backwards he can feel that part of his chest is broken, like one of his ribs, but he can also feel it healing. And he's looking around. I can't see him. That's when Naruto uses his bats, however they see in the dark. I thought it was echolocation, which I think it is, but I'm pretty sure I might be confusing it with a dolphin. And he sent Zabuza behind him, but he was a bit too late. Zabuza manages, with Haku's help, to get off a water prison jutsu. And he's stuck in this water. Naruto starts panicking. He's like, I can't breathe. And then he realises, wait, I can breathe. And I know in the prison jutsu, I don't know if that actually kept in the water, but I'm just saying for this one, Zabuza wanted to kill it. Zabuza wanted to kill Naruto, not keep him in prison. So this water is actually going to drown him. Well, what Zabuza thinks it is. Zabuza looks at him and starts laughing and says, "Yes, struggle as you can't breathe. Let the water fill up your lungs." Zabuza stops laughing. Oh, I'll be back in a minute, guys. My food's here. I'll have a bit of McDonald's, so I might have to rush to the end of this because I want to eat. Zabuza stops laughing when he looks at Naruto, who's just putting the middle fingers up to him, saying, "I can breathe underwater, bitch." Seeing this, Zabuza's confused, and Naruto looks at the back of his hand. He concentrates and he sees his sword still start glowing, and the sword appears in his hand again. He swings it round and cuts the water, escaping it. Haku seeing this panics and he runs away from Kakashi, flying towards at that point Haku went to duel Kakashi, and he comes flying towards Naruto with Senbon out and chucks them. Naruto doesn't have faith in being able to cut them. He puts his hand up and absorbs it. Naruto feels ice run through his veins. What is this? He ducks downwards and he attempts to use the jutsu the ice nature he just absorbed. And he just lets out a really cold blast of air. And he says, "So that's how it works. I need to kill you then, don't I?" Oh, sorry guys, I forgot I'm meant to be recording. Naruto then spin kicks Haku, hitting his mask off and sending him flying backwards. And he says, "I had enough of this shit." He pulls out his sword and cuts off Zabuza's leg. Zabuza starts screaming. The wound turns black. And Naruto goes, "I'm not even going to question it." He puts his hand up to Zabuza, who's sitting there. And he says, "Zabuza, I hope this death is not painless." Naruto begins absorbing Zabuza's life energy. He feels the power rush through his veins. He can feel himself steadily getting stronger. Zabuza's sword skill become his taijutsu, all his techniques. And eventually, as Haku manages to wake up from that hit, you see Zabuza's old lifeless body sitting there, and ooh, I need a drink. Ah. Seeing this, Haku goes into a fit of rage and screams. Ice spikes fly everywhere, and Naruto barely jumps over it. He said, "I'm not putting up with this shit," and he chucks the blade. It impels Haku's stomach. Naruto can see the same sort of life energy getting absorbed into his blade, and he rushes over and grabs hold of it. So Naruto then realizes anything this blade cuts, it absorbs the life energy the same way he can, and Naruto can absorb it that way. But it just happens a lot quicker. Naruto then sucks out all of Haku's life energy, and his final wish was for Naruto to lay his body next to Zabuza. Hearing this, Naruto realized Haku was just a kid, but he didn't feel guilty. It's part of being a ninja. Naruto felt ice running through his veins, and he flicks his wrist, and an ice spike appears. Not even need to use jutsu, that shouldn't be normal. Then all of a sudden, all the jutsus that Haku used for ice flash through Naruto's mind, and he goes, "Interesting, I'll save that for later." Anyway guys, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, share with your friends, family, like and subscribe, comment down below whatever you want to see next. Let's get to 20k subs before whatever That's a banging bop cop slop. Other than that guys, I'm not going to drag out the ending. Peace out, bye. Oh my god, can this video stop it? I clicked pause 4 times. It's not bloody ending.